I'm going to blow some minds here real quick. Guess what? The August sales numbers for Bud Light are out, and it's actually not good. I know, right? Who could have possibly seen that coming? You got Bud Light sales tumble even further after Dylan Mulvaney controversy led to boycott as Modelo Especial surges. Yeah, it's been the exact same story now for what, 5 months? And Modelo is now definitely 100% going to be the best-selling beer of 2023, all because of one little can, one little post on social media. And now, by the end of this video, you're also going to figure out that they've also got another concern that's definitely on the horizon, given the fact that, hey man, they totally betrayed their audience. Sucks to suck, I guess, but it's so funny. It's so funny because what was that, yesterday or the day before? You had Dylan out there. That dude ended up winning an award for something, breakout performance, and I don't know, somebody who can pee standing up in the woman's bathroom, whatever the award was. It's like nobody really cared, and it was just a bunch of woke women that were in the crowd just going, yeah, you go, girl. But apparently another little excerpt from the acceptance speech also had some shade thrown at a certain beer that was out there. So it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Dylan will go ahead and take pot shots at the brand because nobody reached out to make sure that I was okay. But now, as everything's burning, people are getting laid off. You know, local distributors are also having to cut back. And what is Dylan out there doing? Well, of course, just hitting the podcast tour with all of your most insufferable bitches that could possibly be on the internet. You got Kathy Griffin, Taylor Lorenz, who just loves a good doxing, Doxxing, not the other one. Margaret Cho, who I've seen her fall downstairs, and that's about the funniest that she's ever been. Some heifer in the background, Rosie O'Donnell, and it's hilarious because I think you can probably accurately smell that picture, hear that picture, because frankly, you don't even want to see that picture anymore. But while one person is grifting off of the fame because any attention is good attention, right, girl? Bud Light, Anheuser Busch specifically, is out here trying to clean up the mess that they, let's be honest, completely and totally made worse with their response to all this stuff. Bud Light has seen its sales plummet even further amid ongoing backlash to the disastrous collaboration with trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney. The beer giant lost his place as America's #1 beer brand to Modelo Especial due to the controversy, a position that it held for over 22 years. But yes, all good things must come to an end. As of August 19th, Bud Light sales in off-premise locations such as grocery stores and gas stations. It's always so weird, okay, because up here in Canada, you have specific designated liquor stores, so I always just find it weird that you can buy beer at a gas station. Seems counterproductive, but at the same time, hey man, whatever. Plummeted by 15.9% on a dollar basis and down 20.1% on volume basis in the past year. Yeah, and this is supposed to be the time of the year that they're supposed to be cleaning up, summer season especially, heading into the final long weekend, the final send-off to the season, and they're down across the board. Oh well. You made your bed, now you gotta drunkenly lie in it. In contrast, rival brand Modelo Especial sales surged, with the beer up 10.3% in sales and 9.6% in volume. Yeah, man, it's not even close now. Now it's not quite beating a dead horse because they deserve everything that they get, beating a dead Clydesdale. But it's just seeing how bad long and drawn out and prolonged this situation can go. It's very funny. Bump Williams, head of the data firm Bump Williams Consulting, you don't say, who tracked the recent data with Nielsen IQ, said Modelo beat Bud Light as a best-selling beer thanks to sales in convenience stores. Okay. Bump Williams noted that the slides continue as Modelo continues to pad its lead across all off-premise outlets combined. For the week ending August 19th, the total beer sales across the United States soared by 2.2%. Bud Light sales for a single week were down 26.8%. Yeah, man, it's atrocious. So, knowing the fact that, yes, Labor Day is coming up. Have I mentioned that before? But yes, no, just to crystallize that, well, Bud Light is once again doing that ting that worked one time, I think for Memorial Day, that made the slides a little bit more palatable. They were still there after all, but it didn't end up working. I don't think it ended up working all that well for Independence Day, and if there was an August long weekend, I wasn't aware of it in the United States. We have one in Canada, but I think it's Victoria Day. It really doesn't much matter. But for Labor Day, you can get that $15 rebate. It worked before, sort of. We're going to go ahead and try to run it back one more time, guys. But if they're hoping to capture anything, okay, they've been trying so hard. We also reviewed the NFL ad that they're running because Bud Light has just been crawling, trying to get to that finish line, hoping that they can get to the fall season, NFL season, where they're the big title sponsors. But then they also didn't realize you can go ahead and try to attach yourself to a brand, just like Dylan did with Bud Light, and then just trying to grift off of somebody else's platform in order to get more clout for yourself. But it's not going to quite work out like that for Bud Light, because Dylan can go ahead and spin the victim narrative and go on to bigger and better things and more well reinforced things like the couch from that picture. But a big multinational, or rather international company can't quite run that narrative anymore, because you already pissed off your customers, you called them stupid, you called them ignorant, and then you refuse to apologize. So if anything, if NFL is going to go ahead and they're just going to put Bud Light plastered across everything, they're going to start putting it on the footballs, they're going to mark the 20-yard lines on both ends of the field with a big old Bud Light logo, that's just going to end up dragging down their popularity. This is such a wild event that something like that might actually occur, and it's probably not all that outrageous to predict. But you take a look at this: Bud Light rivals entertaining football sponsorships in new marketing game plan. Yeah, because there's other rivals in the field that have snatched up the market share that Bud Light just let out there to the market earlier this year, and now they're just going, well, they have the opportunity to go and sponsor something, and they're going to be shelling out a bunch of money, but then these companies aren't going to get a decent return, and it's just going to end up dragging down their company's reputation and profitability. We can come in at a lower rate and then also have the ability to just associate ourselves now with a bigger brand and then end up doing good business in the long term. See what's going on here? Bud Light's rivals are making forays into football sponsorships this season, seeking to score with sports fans everywhere. While Anheuser Busch, Bud Light's owner, has a partnership with the National Football League, the company's competition is seeking to win over customers through other football outlets. Miller Lite, which is still a feminist beer, but everybody forgot about that because not women most affected. Unbelievable. Owned by Molson Coors, will be expanding its lead sponsorship of fantasy football, which is, in certain areas, I don't play that shit because, I don't know, I like girls, and it's wildly fucking popular. So if you're going to go sponsor something that is football adjacent, that's probably the best way to go about it, as ESPN's fantasy football app was used by over 11 million people last season, according to a report. Okay, makes sense. Fans are engaged in fantasy football 7 days a week, said James Nanny, senior market analyst for Miller Lite. Whether they're setting a lineup, checking stats, ripping their buddies over text, we want them to have a Miller Lite nearby. See, this is smart. Okay, I thought people went to school in order to study marketing and get a bachelor's degree in this type of stuff. That is simple market analysis. That is looking, okay, who is our consumer base? Okay, blue-collar guys. What do blue-collar guys like? Football. What do they like as well that's new and innovative? Fantasy football. Is there anything that we can sponsor over the top of that? Well, how do they organize those fantasy football leagues? Perfect place. That is what you do, man. You don't run your shit like Alyssa Heinerscheid and just go, we just want trans acceptance. Well, does our consumer base want it? Shut up, bigot. We're going to do it anyways. That's not the way that you do your fucking advocacy, because that's what ends up killing a brand. Case in fucking point. Additionally, Coors Light, also owned by Molson Coors, will focus on college football. See what they're doing? If you guys can't get the top dog, the big dog, the one that also has its own fair share of controversy as well, you can go to the ones, you can go to the outlets that have a rabid fan base. Like, people like their NFL football teams, but people love their college football teams. People love their fantasy football leagues. So this is, it's making a whole hell of a lot of sense. and will feature a new program titled Nothing Like Game Day that celebrates college football culture. Okay, seems to make sense. Like this is smart marketing. Not like I'm advocating for more beer sponsorships. Hell, it's not going to work on me. I'm a sober individual, but I like to see smart business decisions in action, and this is what this is, in stark contrast to what Bud Light is doing. Viewers will be able to partake in competitions to win rewards and merchandise. One of them will be a chill throne, which can be purchased for $750. Okay, wonderful, fantastic. Oh, remember when Bud Light launched their brand new campaign, their easy to consume or whatever summer gimmick, where they said they were going to be doing all of this innovative stuff, like giving away $10,000 a month? Haven't heard anything about that at all whatsoever. Wonder what happened there. I guess they need every penny that they can pinch. The move by Molson Coors is to capitalize on non-NFL football areas comes after Anheuser Busch, the owner of Bud Light and several other beer brands, you don't say, reported a nearly $400 million loss. Yeah, what's $5 or $6 million between friends? That's what it would need in order to get to that $400 million, so pretty goddamn close. In the second quarter of this year, the loss has been linked to the boycott of the company following the partnership between Bud Light and transgender activist Dylan Mulvaney. Yep, and if they don't watch their ass, they're just going to end up losing one of their biggest money makers, their sponsorship and their access to NFL football fans. And it looks like, because they were just once again tunnel visioned on this shit, we'll just get the NFL. It's the biggest one that's at play. Well, you take a look at what your competitors are doing. You're not learning from them, obviously, even though your competitors were learning from you, that we heard from various CEOs and executives over these past few months. Yeah, no, you're really just doubling down on the people that brought you to the dance, which would normally be laudable, but we see how you reward loyalty, and frankly, that's a noble endeavor. But when you deride your customers that have stuck by you through thick and thin, and then also made you the #1 best-selling beer for 22 years, and you say that they are simply too stupid to discern misinformation from the truth, yeah, you deserve everything that you get. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.